Good morning, everybody. It is Sunday, September 12th. It's about 9 a.m. here in Texas. We have had cool mornings here in Texas the last few days. It's been really nice. Of course, by the afternoon, it's hot again. So, I try to get up early, get my outside stuff done while it's still cool outside. Today, I am working on Warm Witch by Ivy Dollamore, brought to you by Diamond Art Club. I am using my pens from BFF Diamond Painting Pens. I have my purple one and my blue one that I call my St. Louis Blues pen. Anyways, that's what I have. And then a typical tray that you get with your Diamond Art Club kits. So that's what I'm using today. This is what I'm working on. You can see I'm working on the witch's face and her cup of coffee. Y'all, it's been a week. My husband and I got back from vacation on the 4th. We took Sunday to rest. Monday, we took care of things around the farm. Tuesday, we went and my mom, as you know, as I've said before, moved into a new apartment that came with brand new appliances. So her appliances that aren't quite 2 years old, I got. So we took our appliances out of our house that are like 20 years old, took them to her house that she's going to be selling, and got the new appliances and brought them here. That was an all-day excursion. Man, things we weren't counting on. The plug to her stove was different than the plug we needed here, so we had to exchange the plugs on the stoves. And then because my mom had remodeled her house a few years ago, in her kitchen, things, plugs weren't where they originally were. So when my brother installed her dishwasher, he hardwired it in. Anyways, it wasn't in a plug, it was a wire to a wire. So we had to undo that and then take the wire off the plug off our dishwasher to put onto the new dishwasher. And then her fridge. Whew, that was fun getting out of her house. And she has a sliding back, patio door, and it was a Tetris game getting that out. It took us way longer than we thought it was going to do that. But we got that done. I have, newer appliances in my house, so that's great. Loving it. And then Wednesday, I had lunch with a friend. And then Thursday, what did we do Thursday? I know we did something on Thursday. What did we do Thursday? I think I just diamond painted Thursday. I think Thursday was my day where I could relax, if I'm not mistaken. I feel like we did something Thursday though, but I can't remember what it is. Friday was fun. We got woke up at 7 in the morning because our blue heeler / Australian Shepherd that we have outside, our farm dog, was barking up a storm. My husband gets up to go see what it is, and he comes running back in the room, and he's fighting 4 coyotes. 4 coyotes. Now, I don't know about y'all, but I've seen, 1, maybe 2 coyotes together, but I have never seen a pack of 4 together. And we live out in the country. I mean, our nearest neighbor is 3 miles away. So, we'll have a coyote or 2 run through the property or whatever, but I've never had 4. Never. We've been out here 20 years. And so my husband goes inside to get the gun, and I'm out there trying to call my dog off before he gets hurt. But man, he's holding his own. He is whirling and twirling like the Tasmanian devil, keeping these coyotes at bay. And so my husband comes out with the gun. And of course, he doesn't want to accidentally shoot our dog, who's in the midst of these four coyotes. So he just kind of shoots in the general direction, and the coyotes take off. And so our dog comes back to us, and we check him over. He has no bites, no wounds, but man, he's feeling proud of himself. He's gotten his mojo back now. He's been really sad since we had to say goodbye to our chocolate lab. She was old, and we had to let her cross that rainbow bridge. And so he's been in a really sad place since then. And ever since the coyote incident, he's kind of had his mojo back. His tail's been wagging, and he's been out running around and being his normal self. So, there's that. So after we took care of the coyotes, we decided, well, we're up. So we needed to sell some cattle. Some of the steers, young bulls that we have, they were big enough that we needed to sell them and get them out. And our full-grown bull has gotten so big that he has started injuring our full-grown cows, when he was trying to mate with them. So we had to sell him, which was sad because he was a really good bull, very calm. We didn't have to worry about him charging us or anything, or trying to escape to neighbors' farms or anything like that. Really good bull, but unfortunately he was too big and he was starting to hurt our cows. We have one that's limping around because of him. So it was time for him to go. So we loaded them up, took them off to the sale barn, got back home. And then what did we do? We were home by 10 o'clock. Yeah, it was a good morning. We got a lot done. What did we do after that? Oh, we came home and we have a potbelly stove in our house that we use as our, have used in the past. We now have AC/heat, but in the past we've always used our potbelly stove as our main source of heat. And so we make newspaper bricks every year. So after we got home from dealing with the cows, we made some newspaper bricks, got our winter prep started. And then we had lunch, and then the rest of the day was mine. So I did some more diamond painting, some more cross stitching. I'm going to change numbers here. And then yesterday was my youngest nephew's 5th birthday. And so we went, they were having it at a public park here or over in town. And so, we get there, and they've had the party here before. It's never been an issue. It's a nice place. It has a nice big size pavilion, so it's in the shade, which was good because it was at 3 o'clock in the afternoon in Texas. Yeah, it was a little warm. It wasn't as hot as it could have been, thankfully, because we have had the cool mornings, but it was still a little warm. But anyway, so we get there, and my niece comes up, and she's like, oh my gosh, she's like, there's this family here. She was like, I got here before Mom. She's 18, so she drives herself. She lives, in her own apartment. She's like, I got here before Mom, so I'm just sitting in my car, and this little boy who looks like he's probably about 4 comes up and stares me down in my car. And I'm just looking at him like, what in the world? She goes, then he threw his juice box at my car, flips me off, and rides his bike off. And I'm just like, okay, I thought maybe my niece was exaggerating or whatever, no big deal, right? Surely a 4-year-old isn't going around flipping people off. So, people start arriving for the party, and all of a sudden there's like all these extra kids that don't belong. And my sister-in-law and brother-in-law had hired this family that does like popcorn and snow cones and cotton candy. And so they'd hired them to come and supply that stuff for the party. Well, all of a sudden, all these kids that don't belong to the group are in line for cotton candy and stuff. And so I go up and I tell my brother-in-law, and I'm like, hey, do you want to do something about that? And he's like, well, at first I thought about it, but then I was like, yeah, it's unlimited stuff, no big deal. And then he looks over and he's like, but I didn't realize how many were going to show up. Y'all, these kids were like cockroaches. They were coming out of everywhere. There was like 30 of them, okay? And one of the older females in the party, I don't know if it was an aunt, a sister, the mom, whatever, comes over and tries to herd this pack of kids away. And this little boy that my niece was telling me about is sitting there yanking on this woman's dress, trying, getting her to look down at him. And he is sticking his arm up as far into her face as he can get and flipping her off. And she's doing nothing about it. And I'm just, mine's just blown. I'm just like, what? And so I was just like, I told my brother-in-law, I said, look, I know you're trying to be nice, but these kids are rude. They had a little beanbag toss thing set up for the party kids to play with, and they had a little seesaw that they had brought out for the kids to play with. And I'm like, they are like taking over everything and not letting the party kids play. But they were just kind of like, absorbed with talking to family and stuff. So I'm like, no, this ain't happening. So I see the kids starting to line up, the ones that don't belong, starting to line up again at the cotton candy thing. And so I go over, and one of the kids tells the guy, I would like one, please. And I said, no, this is not your party. This is not your family. You all need to go back where you belong. And so they, kind of turn and start to walk away. And then they kind of walk around a tree and they start coming back. And I'm like, no, y'all need to go. No, this isn't your family. Well, some of the other adults in the party saw what I was doing, and they decided to start, helping out. So this one comes up, she's like, I'm going to go talk to their parents. And I'm like, awesome, do it. Well, it was, like maybe 8 women taking care of these 30 kids. It was just ridiculous. And they were doing nothing to control them. So, we're trying to herd these children away at all costs. It's like, no, this is not your party. You need to go away, And I know that sounds rude, but y'all, it was bad. They were just like trying to take over. And I would never have dreamed of doing that as a kid. My kids would never have, I'd have busted their butts and then sat on them. I'm just like, no, not having this. So then it comes time for the piñata. And here come the kids. They're like, yeah. And I'm like, no. This is not your party. Go back to your family. This is not your family. Go back to your family. And so myself, a couple of my husband's aunts, and a couple of the other dads that were in the family, we're just kind of making a wall around to keep these kids back so that the party kids can get the candy once the piñata's broke. And I told the little 4-year-old, I'm like, no, this is not your family. You need to go. And I'm just wishing. I'm like, you flip me off, little one. You just flip me off like I've seen you do to these others. And I will haul you to your mama so fast. But he didn't. He's just like, bye. And I'm like, bye. He goes around a tree and goes over to where my husband's standing, thinking he's found a soft spot. And I'm like, And my husband's aunt, she's got a cane. She's like, I'll beat them open like a piñata. And so we're standing there, and all the party kids are taking their turns at the piñata and everything. And I see that they've spotted an opening. So I go over to close the opening, and the piñata breaks open. And I hear one of the kids that doesn't belong go, yay! And I turned and I said, no. And they're like, but, and I'm like, no, not your party. And so they're just kind of standing there watching all the little ones, that belong to the party gather up their candy and stuff. And so I'm like, okay, the cotton candy machine and all that, I've have told them these kids don't get anything. And so they were kind of aware. So I was like, okay, maybe I can sit down and relax and enjoy the party now. Well, I turned to go sit down at one of the tables, and I noticed one of those other kids has grabbed a bag of chips. And he's sitting there and he's just shaking this bag of chips. And I'm like, did he take that bag of chips off the food table? And my sister-in-law looks at me and she's like, oh my gosh. I'm like, they're vultures. They're little vultures. They're over here taking whatever they can get. And so I'm just beside myself at this point. I am just like, this is crazy. And so my brother-in-law goes over and he talks to the parents. And he's like, look, this is my son's party. This is my family. You need to control your kids. And so one female comes over to try to herd the children away. And of course, they're not listening to her. They're like, whatever. And so I'm sitting there and I'm talking to someone, and I look up, and here comes one of these little boys. He's probably like 9 or 10, and he starts to reach his hand into the box of chips. And I'm across I'm a good 30, 40 feet away, and I just yell, no, and he looks at me and he drops it and he takes off. My sister-in-law starts laughing. She goes, man, when you yelled no, everybody stopped. She goes, that mom voice came out. And I'm like, well, I mean, come on. You got to be bold to just decide to come over and snatch from other people's stuff. I was just, no. So about that time, I'd had enough. I was like, no, these are not my kids. They're my nephews and stuff. But I'm like, this is not my party. This is stressing me out, and it's not even my party. I'm just supposed to be here chatting with people, having a good time. And so I told my husband, I said, look, you have a car race you want to go to? I'm ready to go home. Let's go. Party's over. We've had cake. We've sang happy birthday. It was like 5 minutes till 5. The party was supposed to end at 5. I'm like, let's bounce. So we leave. And it's like an hour and a half back home. We were about 30 minutes from the house when not the sister-in-law who was having the party, but my other sister-in-law texts me, and she's like, the family of those kids came over and gave money to make up for what their kids took. And I'm like, well, thank goodness for some small miracles. But y'all, it was crazy. I couldn't comprehend what was going on, because I would never have been as bold as those kids were, ever. Blows my mind. Blows my mind. So today I'm getting, my husband went back to work. He's been off for 3 weeks. And I know that sounds like a lot, but when the Great Panini hit, they took all their vacations away, because they needed the firefighters at work. And so they're like, you're not supposed to be going anywhere anyway, because hello, there's a virus going on. So we want all of you working. So then they, once things, I hate to say the word cools down, because it hasn't really cooled down any, but once the city realized the mess they'd got themselves into, they owed all these vacations. So a lot of them got stacked on top of each other. So he had like 2 vacations stacked on top of each other. So that's why he ended up with 3 weeks off. So he's back at work today. So I'm obviously diamond painting and doing this video. And then I have to leave at 12, because on my side of the family, my 2 nieces, their birthdays are 3 days apart from each other. 4 days apart from each other. And so we're taking my mom, their grandma from their mom's side, and I are taking them out to lunch for their birthday today. They are 11 and 13. What? So, yeah. So we're doing that with them today. So I have to go by my daughter's house before I go there to drop off some things I found for her wedding. And then I'll go have lunch with them. So I got to leave here around 12. And then who knows when I'll be home. But I'll be home. And when I get home, I plan to cross stitch the rest of the night. So, yeah, that's been my week. It's been very interesting. My husband was like, I'm ready to go back to work just to get a break. Because, I mean, we've been just go, 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 go since... Oh, I know what we did Thursday. Ha ha! Okay. So his parents have a travel trailer that they have set up at their farm on the other side of the county from us. And they go out there and they spend nights and whatever. And when they're at the farm. And the mattress that had come in their travel trailer, you know, it was really nice when they first got it. But, you know, my mother-in-law's like, now it's got two, you know, whole, you know, concave spots in it where they've been laying. So they wanted to get a new mattress. And not realizing that travel trailer mattresses, motorhomes, whatever you want to call them, are sized differently from regular mattresses. They went and got a regular queen size mattress from a local furniture store. Had it delivered. She said the guys who delivered it out to them struggled getting it in the travel trailer. And once they got it in, it's like 2 inches wider than it needs to be all the way around. And it's so tall, they're having to use step stools to get into it. Which they were going to live with. You know, they were like, whatever, it's comfortable, we like it, we'll deal with it. Well, my father-in-law, you know, he's been battling cancer for about 4 years now, and he has a port where he has to drink fluid out of. Well, he was getting up one night in the middle of the night to go to the restroom, and his port hung on this cabinet that's right by the bed because they're higher up now, and it bruised him really bad. And he's like, nope, gotta go. And so they had called the furniture place and asked about, you know, returning the mattress. They hadn't taken the plastic off of it yet. And they're like, yeah, we'll come back and get it, but it's going to be like $200. And my mother-in-law was like, forget that. I need a new mattress at home. So she asked us to come get the mattress out and take it to their house. And she was warning us about how hard the guys, you know, these professional guys struggled to get it in. And so she was, you know, trying to prepare us that it was going to be a struggle to get it out and, you know, everything. But, yeah, Dwayne and I had no problem getting it out. I've moved, like, I think we did the math one time, 25, 26 times in my life. So I'm pretty good at maneuvering things out and about. So we got that out and then drove it all the way into town to put it in their house. We got rid of their old mattress, which she said was like 20 something years old. I'm like, yeah, you kind of need a new mattress in here. So that's what we did on Thursday. I knew we did something. I just couldn't remember what it was. Oh, and yeah. And then we went to Goodwill because my husband needed some farm shirts. And that's when I found some candlesticks and cute little vase-like things. They're not actually vases. They're just, I don't know. They're really cute that my daughter is going to use to hold flowers at the tables at her wedding reception. And that's what I got to take to her today. So that's what we did Thursday. I knew it would come to me. It's been a week, y'all. It's been a week. Yeah, I think Wednesday is the only day. Well, I went to lunch with a friend, but, you know, I've left my house every day this week. Oh, I'm not used to that. I'm normally a homebody. So, but yeah, so that's been my week. I hope everybody's week has been good. I'm just trying, this is my my canvas for Drills and Chills. I really enjoyed working on it. She's coming along so pretty. And she's a round. My last one was a square, so I kind of like to alternate. I don't know what I'm going to... Well, I need to order one for my youngest daughter's boyfriend. He wants a custom one done, so I need to hurry and get that ordered so it'll... Dude. Am I doing the right... Oh my gosh, where's my drill canister? What did I do with it? Am I even doing the right one? I don't know. I think I've been talking so much I've lost my way. Let me pour some of these in here. I don't normally put my canister back. Yeah, that's the same color. Okay. Y'all ever do that? It's just like, I'm just sitting here putting drills on. Am I even putting them on the right symbol? La-di-da. But I am. Yay me. Okay, good. Do y'all ever put some on the wrong symbol and then be like, it's close enough to the color it's supposed to be. I'm not going back and taking those off? I've done it. I'm not going to lie. I've done it. I've been like, screw that. Now, there have been times when I put the wrong color, you know, put like a black and a white spot or something like that, where I've had to go through and take them off. But, you know, there's so many shades of brown sometimes. It's like, close enough. Nobody will know but me. Oh, so let's see. Next week. Oh, today is Grandparents' Day and National Day of Encouragement. At least that's what's on my calendar. So encouragement. Whatever you have to do today that just feels like it's, you know, too much to do and that you just can't do it, you've got this. You can do it. You're an awesome person. You've got it all under control. Today is your day. You can do anything you set your mind to. And if it just feels too overwhelming that you can't do it, you know what? It's not going anywhere. It can be done tomorrow. It will be okay. Sometimes we need to tell ourselves that. Sometimes we just need to say, you know what? I can't do this today, and it's okay. It will be here tomorrow. It's not going anywhere. So, you know, just be easy on yourselves today. It's Sunday. It's supposed to be a day of rest. So just be nice to yourself today. That's my word of encouragement. Be nice to yourself today. Tell yourself you're awesome, you're wonderful, and nothing can stop you. So that's my word of encouragement for you today. Happy Grandparents' Day to anybody who's a grandparent. I am the only one in my friend group who's not a grandparent, and that's fine. You know, my kids are living their best life. One is going to be graduating college in May, so yes, she doesn't need to be a parent yet. And my other one, she's doing great at her job. Her and her fiance are living their best lives. So I'm just happy that they're happy, and I'll have grandkids when I have grandkids. And if I don't have grandkids, I'll just live vicariously through all my friends. It's okay. I'm okay with it. I tell myself that, but you know. But I'm not ready to be a grandma yet. So I'm good with that. But yeah, but most of my friends are older, so their kids are older. So except for my best friend back in Arkansas, we're the same age. Our kids are the same age. And so, but she's the exception to the rule. All my other friends are older and their kids are older. So it's all good. I'll just live vicariously through their adorable grandbabies. So happy Grandparents' Day to all of you out there that are grandparents. I miss my grandparents. My grandma died a few years ago. My grandpa's been gone a long time. Geez, probably 18, 19 years, something like that. I miss that old man. But he comes and checks on me every once in a while. I don't, you know, if you don't believe, that's fine. That's you, but I do. he comes to me in my dreams sometimes and just, comforts me and gives me a little talk and, tells me, what I need to do or to just let things go, or, he gives me some advice, and I appreciate that. And, I get to hug him every once in a while. So, yeah, I miss my grandfather. Big time, big time. So, I was his little pumpkin. But yeah, so hug your grandparents if you still have them. I wish I'd have spent more time with mine, but I was a stupid teenager and I was too cool for grandparents. And now I miss it. So, yeah. Teenager and then an adult with a life of my own, didn't have time to go visit my grandparents. No, I wish I had made that time. She looks real cute. She looks like she has a beard right now. A little beard. Need to fix that. But anyway. Let's see. This upcoming week, I don't think I have anything planned for this upcoming week, which is nice. I can catch. I need, I cleaned my house before I left. And then I, once we got home, we unpacked, did all of our laundry. Story I forgot to tell you about when we get back. So we got back. My oldest daughter had been watching my dog for us while we were gone. And so we stopped by her house to pick up Triples. And yes, I said your name. I'm sorry. No, I'm not talking to you. Went and picked her up. And of course, she was excited to see us and everything. My daughter was too. She was like, oh my gosh, she follows me everywhere. And I'm like, yeah, they don't call them Velcro dogs for nothing. I mean, they're very visual dogs. They need to see you at all times. She's a Havanese. And what are you getting into? Speaking of, I heard a clunk. Oh, you're under the bed. Okay. And so I asked her, because my daughter has a cat. And I'm like, so did her and Maria ever become friends? And she's like, oh, no. Maria is the queen of her castle. She does not like anybody in her castle. She tolerates my daughter and her fiance because they feed her. And that is it. She would rather nobody be there. But so she was like, oh no. Poor Triples. She tried. But so we pick her up, we bring her home, we take care, we unpack, clean everything up from our trip, and we go to bed. Well, the next morning I hear this like scratching noise, and I'm like, man, did a cat manage to get in the attic again? Because sometimes, when our mama cat's getting ready to have babies, she finds a way in the attic. And so I was half asleep. So that was my first thought, was that the cat had gotten in the attic. Well, then the dog starts barking. And I'm like, no, it's too early. She sleeps in a crate at night. I'm like, it's too early. No, ma'am. We're not getting up yet. Well, then she whines. And I'm like, okay, fine. She must really have to go to the bathroom. So it's still dark outside. So I was like, okay, fine. I'm going to get up. I'm going to take you out. I'm going to let you go. But then you're going back in your crate and we're going back to bed. So I get up and I walk into the living room and her crate's open. And my dog's gone. And I'm like, what the... And Dwayne's like, what? What's the matter? I'm like, Troubles is gone. He's like, what do you mean she's gone? I'm like, her crate is open and she's gone. That's what I mean by she's gone. And he's like, well, we just heard her bark. And then she whines again. And the only time she really whines is when she's locked herself in our bathroom. Because she'll go in and she'll start nosing around and then she shuts the door behind her. And of course, she can't open a door. So then she whines to be let out. So I go in there and sure enough, she's in the bathroom. And I'm like, how did you get out of your crate? Blew my mind. Couldn't figure it out. So I text my daughter and I'm like, I don't appreciate the trick you taught my dog. She's like, what trick? I'm like, she got out of her crate this morning. She's like, I didn't do it. I'm like, uh-huh. Sounds like your childhood. I didn't do it. I didn't do it. And she's like, how'd she get out? I'm like, I don't know. She just got out. So later that evening, when we were getting ready to go to bed, she goes into her crate because she knows it's bedtime. And my husband goes to shut the crate, and he's like, I bet you missed the latch. For some reason, I guess from moving it from my daughter's house to our house, it had gotten a little wonky. And so he said it was hard to catch the actual latch. And so that's probably what it was, is I missed the latch. But it was just freaked me out. I'm like, how did my dog get out of her crate? She does not have opposable thumbs. A little sneaky. And yesterday, we live out in the country. We burn trash because we don't have garbage pickup out here. So we burn our trash. So my husband gets up early yesterday morning to go burn trash. And I'm in here diamond painting, trying to get a little bit done before we have to leave. And the dog wants to go out. So I take her out, and I see him walking across the field in the back. And I'm like, why is he walking? And so I take a few steps towards the back of the house, and I see our gator. Not an alligator, it's a gator. It's a little ATV thing we use around the farm. Is stuck in the tank. The tank is a little mud hole, basically. It's a hole in the ground that collects water. A little pond, as some people might call it, but it's not a pond. It's a tank. Anyway, it's stuck, and I just start laughing. And he looks up and he's like, what? And I'm like, what did you do? And he goes, so I was trying to drive around it on this side, and it kind of slid. And I'm like, uh-huh, you got stuck, didn't you? Maybe. I'm like, uh-huh. So, of course, I took a picture of it stuck and sent it to our daughters and said, look at what your father did. So he had to walk. He came up here and got the tractor and went and got it unstuck. But it was just so funny. I was just like, you got it stuck. We tease each other about stupid stuff like that. It was funny. Oh. So yeah, it's been an interesting week. He was ready to go back to work today. He's just hoping it's a slow day so that he can get some rest. Because he hasn't gotten it at home since we've been back. Of course, that's when it's always the craziest. So, I don't know. It's Sunday. Maybe it'll be a quiet day for him. I don't know. I haven't heard from him yet. I know he's got lots of paperwork to catch up on and stuff like that at the firehouse. So I don't know when I'll hear from him. Oh, excuse me. Okay, so I guess I will go ahead and close this for now. I don't really have anything else to catch you up on. That's been my week. Tired, y'all. Tired. But it's been a good week. My sister-in-law yesterday, when I told her that, Dwayne was going back to work today, that he's been off for 3 weeks, she's like, oh my gosh. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, and, we haven't gotten into any fights. It's been nice. And she's like, well, she told me her and her husband don't really fight when he's off on his long stretches either. And I'm like, yeah, but she's like, he just normally annoys the shit out of me. And I'm like, he hasn't done that either. It's been nice. We've actually, been having a good time, laughing and cracking up and just enjoying our time together. And, I think we're ready for retirement. I think we're ready. So 3 more years, y'all. January 1st, 2025 will be his first official day of retirement. We're so ready. So, yep. Anyways, I hope everybody has a great week. Make it good. Try to smile every day. Do something to make somebody laugh. And just Be good people. Control your children. Don't let them go invade other people's parties. It's not good. They might come across a mean woman like me. Anyways, have a great week. See y'all next time. Bye.